You're listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast with Angela Henderson, episode 173. Hey there, you're listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast. My name is Angela Henderson, and on this show, we talk about improving your business, life, or both by having amazing and rich conversations with brilliant guests who will inspire you and who will give you tips and tricks to help you grow both in life and in business. Well, hey there, and welcome back to another awesome episode of the Business and Life Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Ange, from Angela Henderson Consulting, where I'm an international award-winning business consultant and coach who's helped thousands of amazing women business owners to get all the pieces in place to have consistent 4- and 5-figure months and then on to 6- and 7+ figure years without burning out in the process. Today, it's just a solo episode with me and you. But regardless of it just being you and I hanging out, today is a super, super important topic. Please listen to this entire episode. It could be one of the biggest shifts you have in business to date. You see, today I want to chat with you about the importance of paying yourself a wage, share with you 5 reasons why you need to pay yourself a wage and how to get started today, regardless if it's just $10 a week that you're going to start pulling. But before we get into this awesome episode, full disclosure, I am not a financial advisor or accountant, so please consult with your accountant if you have any questions. This particular podcast episode is for informational purposes only. Paying yourself is something that a lot of women struggle with for many different reasons: fear of failure, fear of success, past trauma, money blocks, and so much more. But I'm here to tell you that the sooner you start paying yourself a wage, the sooner you step into feeling like a CEO, the sooner you start taking your business a little bit more seriously, the sooner you stop resenting the hours you're working, and so forth and so forth. I don't know many women in business who are putting in the hours of creating and running a business for shits and giggles and not to have some sort of reward for the work that we all are doing. If you need an income, then you need to run a business and pay yourself intentionally. Let me repeat that again. If you need an income, then you need to run a business to pay yourself intentionally. Emphasis on the word intentionally. Now, when I say the word you need to do this or you need to do this, for those who might be new to listening to me on the podcast, please know you don't need to do anything. But this is where I strongly recommend you get it from personal experience and experience seeing this take action or form, you could say, with clients that I work with. So again, you don't need to do anything. It's your life, your business. Again, these are just things that I strongly encourage you to consider. When I first started in business 11 years ago, I was also working full-time as a mental health clinician. I was working 40+ hours a week, getting paid about $110,000 a year with 4 weeks annual leave, 4 weeks purchase leave. I had 2 weeks worth of sick leave, and I also had a 1-day rostered day off a month and those awesome public holidays I also got. So when I first started off in business, I didn't feel I needed to pull a wage. I just kept putting money back into the business. But then I started to get bitter about my business. My mindset would get a bit wobbly some days, and I knew I needed to change that. So I started taking roughly, I think it was about $50 a week, I believe, give or take a little bit every single week. And I started to see a change in me. And this change in me, so many things came, so many benefits came by just taking $50 a week. And I wanted to share personally the top 5 benefits I have experienced by starting to take a wage in my business and how you too potentially will see these extreme and awesome benefits. Let me explain. Benefit number 1 of paying yourself a wage: magical shifts start to happen. When you start paying yourself a wage, big or small amounts, magical shifts start to happen all around you. The energy changes, the way you show up changes, the way you feel about yourself changes, your self-worth changes, your confidence changes. It's a collective shift that is helping set you up for bigger things. And I personally saw all these happen, not all at once, of course, but over time. The magical shifts were amazing and still happen today with the wage that I take today. Benefit number 2 of paying yourself a wage: it's symbolic. This is something I learned from a good friend of mine and money mindset coach, Denise Duffield-Thomas. She talks about, as business owners, we're always first to pay everyone else, from our suppliers to our team, and we'll always make sure most of the time and go out of our way to pay these individuals first. But guess who is getting paid last? You. Denise talks often about this, and that this is not a good symbol that you want to be sending out to the universe, that everyone else gets paid, but you don't. Denise talks about money blocks that she sees all the time with women in business around, oh, I don't care about the money or how much money I make. I just want to help people. And if you don't pay yourself a salary, then you don't even need to acknowledge the fact that you can get paid by helping people. And she talks about that you can kind of ignore and almost pretend that you're just doing it for free and that money is just a nice little bonus off to the side, but that you're not really going to take any of it. Again, this is massively symbolic, as Denise talks about. Symbolic that you will work without any reward back to yourself. What are you sending out to the universe, to the world, to yourself, to your family and friends, that everyone else matters and you don't? Denise talks about your business is its own entity and it needs to be able to understand giving and receiving. Otherwise, you are stunting the growth of your business if you don't pay yourself, because you're always just giving out. And yes, you'll receive obviously a little bit through transactions and customers that you work with, but you won't truly receive the potential that you deserve because you're always placing other people's needs before yours. And that's why paying yourself a wage is so important, because it's symbolic of you sending out to the universe that you deserve to get paid and are able to receive money. Hearing this from Denise helped me see things in a different way, and how I was inevitably saying I didn't matter. And I was like, fuck that, I matter. And as Denise talks about, I serve and I deserve to get paid. So benefit number 2 of taking a wage is that it is symbolic. You are taking a position that you deserve to get paid, that you are willing to get paid, and you are here to get paid, and that it is safe to get paid. Benefit number 3 of paying yourself a wage, you go from a hobbyist to starting to act like $1 million CEO. As I said earlier, I was still working my full-time job when I first started out in my first business, Finley and Me, my e-com business. And in many ways, I was treating my business as a hobby. But once I started to pay myself, even though it was just that $50 a week, I started acting more and more like a CEO of $1 million business. I started acting like a boss. I started taking notice. This allowed me to step into bigger things. I started to increase my visibility more. I started to collaborate more. I started to inevitably make more. This was massive for me. And because of the shift of starting to take a small wage allowed me to see and feel that I could leave my 9 to 5 job, that I was empowered to leave my 9 to 5 job, and that it would be okay, that I would be and could be successful. And I will forever be grateful for this, because the thought of going back to a 9 to 5 job makes me want to gouge my eyes out. Benefit number 4 of paying yourself a wage, motivation. Off from the last benefit, knowing that I could eventually leave my 9 to 5 because I was able to pull a wage, gave me a kick up my ass, and I was fully in motivational space. I was motivated to do better for me. I was motivated to do better for my family. I was motivated to leave my job. I was motivated to create my legacy and think bigger. If you don't pull yourself, if you're not, paying yourself, I don't know why I keep saying pulling. If you don't pay yourself a wage, but are working 40 hours a week in your business and taking home, say, $300 a week, let's just say again, quote unquote, you were actually paying yourself, that's like $7.50 an hour. That's not a living wage, and you'd be better off literally working at McDonald's. So yes, I talk about the importance of pulling off or paying yourself little bit by little bit, but I also want you to be realistic about this and how motivation, when you start paying yourself even just a little bit, reaps into bigger rewards. Taking a wage increased my motivation so much for, like I said, motivated to leave my job, motivated to do better for myself, motivated to do better for my family. Motivation was so powerful in the growth of not only my first business, but my second business. Benefit number 5 of paying yourself a wage, building generation wealth. Now, this benefit is a personal one to me, but I know many of my clients and peers also appreciate this benefit. Paying yourself a wage is about building generation wealth. You see, my parents filed bankruptcy not once, but twice. They had to work long hours for what they did, and at many times barely making ends meet. But also, this was kind of the same story for my grandparents, having to work long hours for little in return. And I don't want that for my kids or for the generations to come. I want to leave a legacy for my family, for my loved ones, for my community. And by paying myself a wage first allows me to make changes for future generations. You see, those that make smart decisions now, like pulling a small wage, can give a leg up to the kids and the grandkids by building wealth, even modest wealth, growing it, protecting it, defending it, and passing it down to give a boost to those who will follow. So when you start paying yourself a wage, as soon as you can do this, so many magical things will come. Now, when should you start paying yourself a wage? You might be asking you. As soon as possible. As soon as absolutely possible is the best answer that I can give for you. The sooner you can put yourself into a position to start taking a fixed amount every week, every other week, or every other month, the sooner you'll start to see the benefits that I've mentioned today. So how do you get started? First, I want you to take out a piece of paper and pen, and I want you to start with taking a moment and really thinking about what sort of money you want to start receiving in order to bring this money back to you and your family from your business. Be specific. Do you want to pay yourself $10 a week, $100 a week, $1,000 a week to put towards, a family holiday? To put towards your school's education, your kids' education fees? Again, be specific. How much, what for, and how often? This is a great way to get started. Number 2, make this a non-negotiable. Put sticky notes all over your house. Make it your screensaver on your phone, screensaver on your desktop. Make it a non-negotiable. I am paying myself a wage. It is safe for me to take a wage for my business. Again, make this a non-negotiable. By doing this and making this a non-negotiable, you're stepping into a bigger version of you. Let me emphasize the word non-negotiable. Because if you do make it negotiable, I'll take money this week. No, I won't take money this week. You're going to get into the habit of not having any money there, and you're going to go back into this cycle. So take this out of the equation and set up an automatic payment, $10 a week, automatic debit, $100 a week, $200 a week, $1,000 a week. And it's going to help you to submit and solidify by making it a non-negotiable. Also, step number 3 on how to get started, meet with your accountant. If you're listening right now and you don't have an accountant, don't freak out. You can still start making changes and start taking a wage from your business. Remember, you are right on time. So when you can get an accountant to help you, not only with taking a wage, they'll also be able to help you with your overall business finances. I personally would be lost without mine. And step number 4, if you're wanting to get started in taking a wage, read the book Profit First. I first heard of this concept a few years ago when I heard at an event, when I heard the author, Mike, I can never say his name right, Malowski, I think, Michalowicz, Michalowicz, speak at an event. This is where the seed was planted at this event. And this past year, I fully implemented Profit First. The only regret I have about not implementing Profit First was that I didn't do it sooner. If you're new to the concept of Profit First, it is a book, like I said, written by Mike Malowski, about a unique way to structure your business finances to build a sustainable, get out of debt, and get paid as the business owners. His mission is to eradicate entrepreneurship poverty. And what he's really wanting to do is make that sure that Profit First method is a great approach to make this happen. It's an essence of where you've got these like percentages of money and they get put into different bank accounts. I think I've got 7 different bank accounts that we're running off of the Profit First method. And it has been absolutely game changer for my business, for my profitability margins, for my motivation, for my self-worth, for my self-esteem, for my confidence, and so much. So I strongly encourage you to not run to get the book Profit First. As you can see, I'm super passionate about women in business taking a wage from their business. I've mentioned the benefits, but more importantly, I just want more women to have more wealth. When women have wealth, they not only change their own life, but they typically will change the local community, the international community, because they're more likely to give back to society than men. That's a fact. Start today. Even if it's $10 a week, start and slowly increase the amount of money you're making in your wage. You will feel the shift and you will see the transformation within yourself. Here's to more wealth. And if you feel stuck at the moment in your business and you'd like to get more clarity to help you move from stuck to unstuck, you'd like help creating a strategic plan and know what to focus on now that will move you the quickest, or anything business related at all, let's connect. I work with women all around the world like yourself to get all the pieces in place to help you make 4 and 5 figure months and then on to 6 and 7 figure years without burning out in the process. Simply head to angelahenderson.com.au and click on my Work With Me page, and then click the pink button that says Book a Call. And before we sign off, please remember that my team and I will be putting together the show notes for this episode at angelahenderson.com.au. Have a fabulous day, you amazing human. And I look forward to you joining me again next week for another awesome episode of the Business and Life Conversations podcast. Here's to wealth. Thanks for listening to the Business and Life Conversations podcast with Angela Henderson. www.angelahenderson.com.au